Today we are throwing a long overdue spotlight on one of the least known names in the mechanical watchmaking field, Orient. Established in 1950 in Japan, Orient has nearly 70 years of history quietly about its business doing what the watch industry can hardly ever accomplish. Manufacture truly in-house mechanical movements, exquisite dial work, and a frank build quality at pricing that causes the competition to squirm. Orient does not source movements externally. They design, produce, and control their own calibers all in-house, which usually attracts a substantial price premium with Swiss brands, but which Orient can provide at a fraction of the price. What we now have is an array of mechanical watches that are remarkably deep, heritage, and full of character at the price. 5 of the best that Orient has to offer we are counting down today. Let's get into it. Number 5, Orient Bambino version 5. We put the Orient Bambino version 5 on our list as one of the most popular entry-level dress watches in the whole world of affordable horology, and the hype around it is fully justified. The nice dress providing of the Bambino is a refined alternative to the dress providing of the Orient, and version 5 adds a domed mineral crystal that brings the watch a most lovely vintage, almost mid-century feel not often found at this price point. The rounded crystal reflects the light at varying angles, thus forming a depth of vision that is not only easy to take pictures but also to wear in the real world. The dials come in a generous assortment of colors: classic white, rich burgundy, deep navy, and others, all with applied hour markers and finely crafted Dauphine hands, which convey a sense of dial workmanship that is often not present in much more expensive timepieces. The Bambino is driven by an in-house caliber F6724, hand-winding and hacking movement that allows you to set the time with true accuracy. The 40.5mm stainless steel case is sleek and fits under a shirt cuff, so this is the best companion to have when one is on an official engagement or business or any other time when one needs a dress watch and yet one cannot find a substantial amount of money. The Orient Bambino version 5 has a retail price of about $130 USD, arguably the best dress watch in the world at its price period. Number 4, Orient Mako II. It is in the Orient Mako II that Orient can demonstrate that it can create a serious sport watch just as convincingly as it can create an elegant dress item, and the outcome is one of the most regarded value dive watches in the enthusiast market. The Mako II has a unidirectional rotating bezel, screw-down crown, and solid screwback case, making it water-resistant to 200 meters, and no detail was spared or compromised to make it a true tool diver. The dial structure is uncluttered and very readable. The indices have large lume plots on them, and the handset is large lume filled that can be read in low light and underwater environments where it is most needed. The Mako II is driven by an in-house caliber F6922, an automatic movement that is hand-wound, has a hacking mechanism, and most importantly, a quick-set date mechanism to make it useful in everyday life. The bracelet is robust and well-made and has a deployment clasp and diverse extension link integrated into the deployment clasp, which means that the bracelet can be comfortably worn over a wetsuit. The proportions at 49.5mm are sporty but not too large, and the lug-to-lug measure makes it fit a broad spectrum of wrist sizes. Mako II comes in different dial choices such as classic black, vivid blue, and bright orange that allow collectors to choose their own way. The Orient Mako II is priced at around $175 USD, a real 200-meter diving watch with an in-house movement at a price that virtually looks like a typographical error. Number 3, Orient Star Classic. The Orient Star Classic enters truly into the premium realm of the Orient line and announces it with a refinement and polish that leaves one respectful at first sight. The Orient Star is the upscale sub-brand of Orient, the embodiment of what the company can achieve when there are no cost-based restrictions and the emphasis is put on quality completely. The classic line in Orient Star has exquisitely designed open-heart versions of the dials on some of their models, exposing the in-house movement underneath the dial in a window that frames the oscillating balance wheel almost as an artwork of kinetic art. The in-house caliber F8B64 that powers the Orient Star Classic is a big leap above the typical Orient movement, with a power reserve indicator prominently displayed on the dial, a longer 50-hour power reserve, and higher quality movement finishing that reflects the high positioning of the star line. The domed sapphire crystal, A step up in quality to the mineral crystal used on the standard Orient models, is surprisingly tough against scratches and helps to add the elegant fine polish to the overall look of the case. Thereby applied Roman numerals or baton indices by the reference, careful dial printing, and a highly polished stainless steel case and bracelet complete a package that easily measures up to 2 or 3 times the cost of Swiss watches. The Orient Star Classic sells between about $400 and $550 USD, life-changing quality to the investment. Number 2, Orient Kamasu. The watch that always shocks those first introduced to it is the Orient Kamasu, as it provides a visual sophistication, dial quality, and general impression that is simply out of the price range, and that experience of utter shock is the greatest compliment that can ever be paid to a value-oriented watch. The Kamasu is the modern sport diver of Orient, and it outdoes the Mako II formula on every visible surface. It has an exquisite sunburst texture on the dial, which catches and plays with light in a really high-end manner. The indices are more elegant, and the overall finish of the case is a blend of brushed and polished surfaces that feels like it is a great deal beyond its category. The Kamasu takes the diving credentials seriously with a unidirectional ceramic insert bezel on some references, and is water-resistant to 200 meters, but features a far more refined package than the Mako II. The in-house Caliber F6922 automatic movement offers hand-winding, hacking, and quick-set date features, dependable, sensible, and completely Orient-made. The 41.8mm size is worn with an appearance that is contemporary and desirable without being obtrusive, and a shape of the lugs and a taper of the bracelet provide the wrist feel that many lovers call just short of perfect in the category. The Kamasu was introduced in a variety of dial colors such as teal, green, blue, and black, making it one of the best recommended entry-level dive watches in the whole enthusiast society. The Orient Kamasu sells at about $200 USD, and at the price it offers, such sum really is hard to dispute. Number 1, Orient Sun and Moon. Version 4. The Orient Sun and Moon version 4 occupy the first place in the current list, and it earns it by doing something no other watch in this line does: put a complication of true mechanical poetry into the Orient formula, and do it with a beauty and art which leaves an indelible impression each time you look at your wrist. The Sun and Moon complication indicates the hour of the day by a cut in the dial. A sun symbol marks the day hours of the day, and a moon symbol appears over in the evening, which is turning constantly upon the dial window to show how time is passing in as picturesque a manner as possible. It is not merely functional, it is expressive. It verges on the romantic, making the process of consulting the time a really enjoyable one. Version 4 builds on the Sun and Moon concept, but with a richly built 40mm case, richly detailed dial with applied indices, graceful hands, and subsidiary seconds display, all capped by a domed mineral crystal, which is what gives the watch its old-world vintage look. The complication is powered by the in-house Orient Caliber F6B24, which is reliable and efficient, and allows hand-winding and hacking the time to set the watch to the exact time. Coming in a choice of gorgeous dial colors, deep blue, warm champagne, rich burgundy, each model of the Sun and Moon brings with it its own personality and charm. It is a watch that attracts remarks and questions among people who have never heard of Orient, and whenever I answer that it was under $250 USD, there is always a response. The Orient Sun and Moon. Version 4 is being sold at a price of around $200 to $250 USD, a mechanical complication of real soul and beauty, and a price which make it one of the greatest value propositions ever in the entire watchmaking industry.